So whoever's dropping 100s, I'm going to give you co-host in a little bit as I get everything set and ready to roll. But who's had a good week? And let me know, where are you guys plugging in from? Where's everyone here from? I know we got less Europeans. Usually we would be getting bombarded with some Europe, but it's a little later, so they don't get too much sauce at the moment. And you guys can share this. This is open. Got Seattle in the house, Miami. I love it. All right, let's see here. Perfect. All right. What's up, guys? So we're going to dive into it today. We're going to be doing it interactive, and it's going to be a good time. So I'm going to go over some markups that I like, things that I'm waiting for, some things that we did last week that we did really well that I think can serve you. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. So if you're in your first, let's say 3 months of trading, drop some threes in the chat. If you've been trading from 6 months to 2 years, drop some sixes in the chat. And then if you've been trading for over 2 years, drop some nines in the chat. I want to see how wide of a spectrum we're in here. And the best part is I'm going to go over things in the language and in a perspective so that I think most people will be able to get a pretty good understanding and see where the market's going. But most importantly today, I do want to keep it interactive. So before I even look at the market myself, what I want to do is I want to get one of you involved. I want to make sure that we're really starting to get our answers from our questions, that we're starting to have clicking moments and breakthroughs. And sometimes you're one question away from going months and if not years into your process. So I see here, we're all over the place. Threes, sixes, nines. Yeah, I know, Cruiser, you've been in the game for a minute. Abby, you too. Hey, so we got some people from all levels. Chicago, all over the US. I love it. So let me see here. No one was ready. I don't see any 100s. Yeah, okay, Abby's always ready. All right, Abigail, let's go. Mrs. Poston. Let me make you co-host. Perfect. What's up?
What's up, Mike? How are you?
All right, amazing. How are you doing? Let me pin you up here with me. All right, let's go. How have you been? Hey, I want y'all to go crazy for my sis here. Abby's been, this might offend some of y'all, but she honestly has been top 5 student hands down for the last few years. Someone who's just been dumb consistent. It's amazing. Honestly, it's so incredible to see like what you've been able to do for yourself, and you just always remain a student. Like, I know you're crushing it, but you're just level of your humility, your consistency is so good. And everyone that knows you would say the same thing. So I'm not just hyping you up here. It's just who you are. So shout out to you, sis. And let's get into it. What do you want to talk about? How are you? How can we work together here? What do you want to do here?
Yeah. Well, I'm super grateful to be on the call, and just shout out back to you for just pouring so much love and support into me over the last few years, and just everybody in general on the platform. You're super consistent, and it just drills into us what consistency can do. But yeah, I just was looking at the chat earlier, and I was like, oh, cool, you're doing a call tonight. And really just cool to share my chart. I got into a setup earlier today, and would love to maybe pick your brain and have you take a look at it. Just your thoughts.
Let's do it. What crypto are you trading right now? Because you only trade crypto, right?
Yeah, I really only trade ETH, a little bit of Solana, but mostly just ETH.
Cool. Yeah, let's dive into it.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
You're co-host, so you're good to go. You can roll. You have sharing ability.
Cool. Yeah, let me share my screen here.
So one thing, guys, while Abby gets set up here, whatever concepts you're learning, at least the way that we approach the market, you can apply it to anything. So whether you're trading crypto like we have here with ETH, whether you're trading any kind of crypto, stocks, forex, metals, commodities, you name it, like same concepts really work super well. So let's see what you got going on here.
Yeah. Let me know if you want me to talk about it. This is just my ETH setup from really just kind of been waiting for this to hit my point of interest area. not ideal. It wasn't New York session, but I haven't taken a trade at all this week. So I've just kind of been, I'm up for the month. So I was kind of being more picky with my trades and everything. So I was cool with getting into this area because I didn't see any additional liquidity that maybe the market could go into. But yeah, I'd love to just hear your thoughts on the setup and stuff.
So let's do this. Walk me through what you see, and then I'll basically just give you my feedback on if I would have done the same thing, or if you have any questions on any part of the trading process, whether it's exits, entries, management. I got you.
Yeah. So I've been watching you for a while, and I'm sure you know Charlie on the crypto side. I've been watching a lot of his sessions, and of course, Nancy, I'll tap into her as well. But really been using the strategy like break of structure. So what I saw with the market is basically, structure breaking here. I was initially looking for a sell, but the market broke above this area. So I was like, all right, cool. Looking for a point of interest down here for the buy. And so that really was just like the main point of what I was looking at.
Okay. Can you zoom out? Can you go like 15 or 1 hour?
Yeah, sure. Let me know if you want to go to 1 hour or anything.
Yeah. So I like the setup. I like the setup because of this big drop that you have right here. So let me see if I can I draw on this thing? I can get remote control. Sick. All right. So if you can give me this remote control, that's perfect. Let's go. So I like what you're seeing here. I think I would have taken a similar setup. I probably would have looked at, what's Bitcoin doing as well, just to make sure that I'm not, missing some type of correlation and something like that. But I don't think it's letting me look at your chart. That's fine. I can't really move it. But that big drop. So that institutional sell that you have. I don't know if you can hover over it.
Over here.
Yeah, if you can hover over that. Perfect. So that right there, let me go ahead and stop this. So when you see that big drop, guys, what basically the buy that you just took is based off of that, and it's under all of that liquidity that was building up, right? So unfortunately, it doesn't let me draw on this. I'm not really sure why, but either way, what you see is a higher high, and then that pullback into what you're like 886 range, give or take.
Yeah.
And then from there, you just pull the trigger. It looks clean. What do you do in this situation? Like, are you already at break even? Are you kind of letting it ride a little bit? What's your process with that?
Yeah. I for the longest time, my break even strategy was just, it's always a 1 to 3. And whenever it got 1 to 1, I would move it to break even. But more recently with just back testing, whenever it breaks above the next high, that's when and just like back testing from like seeing the documentation. Cool. I've noticed different trades will come back and take me out and then just go back up when I go 1 to 1. So yeah, once it comes like this level or breaks above this level, I'll move it to break even. So right now it's a risk-free trade. So if it comes down, it's fine.
Great. Now, how has that been for you? Like, I know, you sent me a message about journaling your trades and back testing and kind of just seeing the numbers. How much has that influenced the way that you're trading now? Like, has it changed a lot? Just the last, 6 months, year of trading?
Yeah, just even that small tweak, like that was more recent, like within the probably like last 3-4 months. It's allowed me to even like just a couple percentages per month be over my like net win versus even before, I would be missing out. Like I would end up breaking even or actually losing the trade because I would put my stop loss too soon on the trade. So even just like
running now compared to before that, you kind of almost cut the momentum before it's ready to go.
Sorry, what was that first part?
Like your winners are now able to run instead of kind of cut off in right before it's getting good. Now they're just able to kind of flow.
Yeah. And also like just mentally allow me, like just kind of seeing the documentation, like the repetition of it. It allowed me to like detach, like just from seeing it over and over again. Like I was like detaching myself more and more and letting my like letting my trade ride once I actually like, cool, this is your plan, here's your confirmations, like run it, and just detaching from the outcome of whatever happens, happens. I think you were talking about it the other week on your Sunday session of like the randomness of trading and how like every trade is not going to be the same as the one before. That like really like sat with me when I thought about like my trading as a whole. It's like every trade is literally a reset. You can't base anything on the previous.
I think the best way to the most relatable way for anybody here to understand trading is this. Like, you flip a coin. The odds of getting tails or heads is 50-50, right? 50-50, that's it. Always 50-50. It doesn't change. You can go tails 100 times in a row, but the odds of that going heads or tails the next time is 50-50. So one of the things that we think, I don't know, human beings just naturally think is if you're constantly winning, you're going to keep winning, or if you're constantly losing, you're going to keep losing. But the odds reset every single new opportunity. And so if you guys want to understand your trading plan and maybe trust it just a little bit more, that would be an idea. It's flip a coin. You know it's going to be heads or tails. And it's a 50-50 shot every time. So you're playing, that's why like I've seen your plan kind of evolve over the years. And now you went from knowing your plan to now trusting your plan. And that's where those the percentages that get you over that hump of profitability, and not like, that's all you need.
Yeah.
Sick. I love it. Keep me posted on this ETH trade. And then last thing before we get, I want to make sure, I want to go over something and then I get a couple more people involved. But why lean into ETH more than XRP or Sol or Bitcoin? How did you get to kind of favoring ETH over everything else?
Yeah. To be honest, it was because so 2020, I started using the scalper, swipe point scalper, because I don't know, I was like in a transitionary period with like forex to crypto, and I didn't have enough money in my account for Bitcoin. So I was like, cool, we're going to do ETH. And I just stuck with ETH literally for the last 3 years. XRP is cool, but I think I was using the scalper for so long. And I just ran with ETH, and I like, I don't know, the market, and got used to it. Yeah.
All right. Any plans of going back to indices or forex anytime soon?
Probably not. Probably not anytime. I know I watch your sessions and stuff, and you do a lot of indices, but nah, mostly ETH right now. So
yeah, she's loyal.
Yeah.
We respect that around here. I appreciate you, Abby. Good to see your entries here, and yeah, keep it up. Keep documenting, man. You're crushing it. I love it.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
Of course. All right, guys. So I'm gonna go over a setup here and then drop a 777 for Abby first and foremost. Appreciate you. I know getting on the spot and just and just being in front and speaking in front of people sometimes is not the easiest thing. So shout out to you, sis. I appreciate you. Let me unpin you so you can, watch in peace. All right. Now, if you want to get some feedback, drop a 888 if you want to hop on here live with me next. I am going to go over a chart real quick, but if you want to be the next one up here and you want to get feedback on your chart or in your process in general, then let me know. But I am going to actually share my screen and we're going to dive into a couple setups that I see. Let's see. Did this hit TP? Oh, I was just short. That's sad. Look at this. 10 points, maybe short. Maybe it'll come back. We'll see. So actually, I guess I'm already on it. I'll walk you guys through this. So I want to show you guys a ping pong setup. Ping pong. Yeah, that's about right. So this is what we had a buy to a sell. And I want to explain why I had this perspective and how we were able to take this up and down. And this will be really quick. So if you want to be the next one up, if you want some value, some feedback, I didn't get any H. Y'all are scared of that live session. Yeah, if you want to learn, I'm gonna tell you right now, the fastest way you're gonna learn is by getting feedback. Anyone, it doesn't have to be me, but anyone that has more experience than you can show you things that you're just not seeing, and it'll save you days, weeks, years of time. So don't be scared. Don't be scared. Drop an 888 if you want to be next. So what did I see? Now, when we zoom out a little bit here, let me go ahead and remove some of the market so you can see kind of what we were looking at New York session. And I want to show you this setup because there's a lot of principles that will help you stay consistent with this. But first things first, when we look at the market, guys, we're looking for really a basic concept. Now, I'm not going to teach you everything there is to know right now about how I approach the market, but I will give you kind of a frame that I do use to see it. And so when I'm looking for buys, I don't have it in English, whatever, here it is in Spanish. I have just a quick thing here. We're looking for liquidity, institutional sells, an imbalance, confirmation of structure, a pullback, and then it going in the continuation. So basically, we're looking for something like this. I'll draw it real quick for you guys, super quick. So you want to see the market give you support. Everyone here has heard of the term support. So you want to see that first. Then that support is broken. All right. So this support, majority of retail buyers would buy into this area. Then it fails. That happens briefly. Then you see price go higher than where it was ranging in, which is what people call a higher high. What you want to see here is you want to see price actually trade up here. Once it's traded up here for a bit, then we want that pullback. The market will pull back into the zone where it's sold off from intentionally in the past. And in this area is where you can see your reversal. So you are looking for something like this. I'm overly simplifying this process, but this is kind of the area that you're looking for buys to make this real simple. Why? Well, sell positions are opened here, which drive price lower on purpose. This happens to liquidate retail buyers. Now, this is a predictable place where money gets into the market. Why is it predictable? Because this is what's taught to everyone. This is the foundation of technical analysis. So once something like this happens and money is poured into the market to eliminate them, and then we get a confirmation of a continuation. So now that you know, okay, it's bullish, it's actually staying up here. Once you get that pullback, the money that was used to drive price down, well, they get that money back. Now the money can drive price up. So you're looking for something like this to really simplify the entry model. You're basically looking for something like this. Now, obviously, easier said than done. But buy schematic, here we go, simple buy schematic. There you go. Okay, so with this being said, a couple different things come into play on how long should I stay in the market? Are there correlating things in the market? If I'm looking at indices, for example, US 30, NASDAQ, S&P 500, they move very similarly. Or maybe you trade forex, so you're looking at Euro USD and GBP USD. They move pretty similar. Or maybe you look at metals. Most people only look at gold, but silver moves similarly. So how do you choose? How do you make the right decisions? Now, in this case here, we see NAS, US 30, and S&P 500 moving really similar. So why is this a zone for me? One, price sweeps, this goes down. And notice how price goes below these previous lows. When this happens, you have retail buy positions that become liquidated. So if people are buying in this area, you know their stop losses are going to be underneath. This is what's taught. This is what's known. Price goes below all of these lows and this low. As soon as that happens, immediately after, look at the market, it just pulls all the way back. Pulls all the way back here. So we already know sells came into the market intentionally here to drive buyers out and also to trap sellers down here. People love the break and retest trades as well, the breakout. So then the market immediately comes back. So we want to understand motive, incentive. Why are these things happening? Why is price moving the way it does? Why does it pull back the way that it does? You have to keep asking the question why. So eventually the market comes up. So then we get up here. All right, we get some highs. Market's looking good. But even when it goes up here, it doesn't really stay up here. You see how as quick as it went up, it goes right back down. So what's the intention behind the move up here? Was it to give us higher highs? Well, it kind of did a terrible job at it because price wasn't really traded up here. You know, some poor lad got caught up in buying these positions, and then price went right back down. So from here, the market slowly worked its way down. Now, what we do know is that there are sell positions that drove price down here on purpose and then immediately came back up. So that's what I was waiting for, the sell positions to play into the role here. And then what happens? Now, during this time here, you see the market chop up and down. All of this is happening. Great. While this is going on, you have US 30 and S&P. Now, US 30 has almost the exact same setup, and S&P does too. But while NAS is consolidating, US 30 actually gets down to here. Same setup. So you'd think, okay, well, let's buy US 30. I didn't. Now, it played out actually. But US 30 is going bearish before anything else. S&P then did the same thing. And so now US 30 is down here, S&P is over here. And let me actually split this screen to give you an idea of what was happening at the exact same time. And so at the time, all of this is going down. US 30 is trading down here. Here we go. So US 30 is over here. Actually, let me zoom out a little bit. Okay. Now this looks a little bit neater. So you see US 30 get into this zone here first. It gets over here into these lows. I think NAS is still chilling up here. What does that mean? Well, if NAS has imbalance, which means the market still got to go down. You see how it just goes up like crazy? It's got to fill it. So that means that NAS can still come down. And if NAS goes down, then US 30 goes down with it. So what happens next? Okay. So now I had two setups that I was looking for. So this is where things get a little bit complex. This is where I said we're playing ping pong here. Now, why is it that I'm seeing two different things here? Well, interesting things happen. We have this pending institutional sell over here where the market should close the sell to then reverse. But while that's happening, this happened during New York session. During New York session, market goes up. Market goes flying up. It's just not a normal. It just literally blows up. And this goes above. See how we had resistance. There was this trend line here. Everyone sees it respecting the trend line. People are entering sells. People love this, right? People are eating this up. As soon as that happens, there she goes. Market shoots up. What does this do, guys? When the market breaks above this high, what do you think retail traders do? Market breaks the high. What's taught? Buy. Okay. Buy the breakout. Exactly. People have buy stops here, and people now have they look at price go higher and they think we're bullish. Let me wait for a pullback, and then I'm getting in for a buy, and then we'll just keep riding it higher. But you're not don't look at the price. Don't look at just the pattern. Look at the narrative. Look at the story that's being sold to you. So price goes up. Okay. You have to read between the lines. How long was price above here? Did price trade up here, or was it just kind of visiting? It was just saying hello to these levels, and then it came crashing back down. Price wasn't trading up here for very long. So this is just a bull sticking its head. But the bears were really in. They were like, yeah, sure. Come on in, bull. You'll be fine. Buyers are in here, and then the sellers just eat them up. And down we go. So this buy happens on purpose. They pour buy positions into the market to lure in buyers, to liquidate sellers. Now that the sellers are out of the game, now they can keep pushing the market lower. So this intentional buy to the upside, now we know, okay, there's money up here because of the way that it drops. Price goes lower, lower, lower. Now we're trading below the low. So now we have the 5-minute structure that's bearish, but we still have this open too. So what did I do? I said, hey guys, price comes down to here. I'm looking for the buy, but the market's looking relatively bearish to me. Structure here has been giving us lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. I'm leaning more towards overall momentum to the downside. So I'm willing to take a setup, but I'm not going to take it for too long. So what you want to do is you want to use the higher time frames. You want to zoom out a little bit to understand how far can I take this trade. You may have the best entries, but if you don't have decent exits, it doesn't matter if you were in the market, because what matters is what you got out of the market. So what the idea was, we'll take short-term buys, but let the sells ride a bit longer. And so this is what we had here. In this case, the market came right into this zone, activated our sell. Our sell was based off of the resistance prior to the push above. Took it right there, sold off. Then what happened? Price spikes in to the buy. We're in the sell, we're in the buy. I'm looking for a 2.5 risk reward here. Let me just make this like that. So make it make more sense. Here you go. And I'm just looking to fill this imbalance. What do we see? The buy hits TP. We fill the imbalance. We're still in the sell. And then the higher time frame continues. So this is what we're looking for NASDAQ. This is definitely a unusual scenario. We don't have entries like this all the time. And I would say this is advanced type of trading because you're taking two different positions and you have to learn how to exit at the right time. And exiting the market sometimes, especially if you're newer, is a little bit more difficult because you want money, you want profits, right? You got a good trade, you want to just see it go forever. And the faster you can learn to detach to the outcome, to how much you get, and basically just trade with the market is showing that it can give you high probability exits are the way to go. So right now, as we're on right here, we are seeing this ride. And we were just short of the exit here. I'm not sure if it'll come back. But still, this is over 190 points. That's a good time. But that's what I see with, and that's what I just saw with NAS. I wanted to give you guys kind of an overview of what we were thinking. And so everything's looking good. Now, who wants to hop on with me? Who wants to hop on? We can go over a setup or maybe something that you're struggling with in the trading. So it doesn't have to be the charts even. It can be just something that you need just clarity on, perspective. Like this is your moment to get feedback. If I were you, someone said, I've been struggling with greed. Okay. Oh, I'm not charging. That's sick. Yo, where is my laptop charger with? One second, guys. All right. Let's see here. Is this charging? Why is this bottom? All right. All right. So someone said how to deal with it. Had a question about burnout, struggling with greed. All right. So I'll just talk into the camera since y'all are shy, I guess. I'll talk about burnout first. If you're working with burnout or struggling with burnout, my question for you, and yeah, you can unmute. I got you. Hold on. Let me just find you here. I don't necessarily know. Can you change your name or something? Let me use your, oh, I see. What's good?
Yo, what's up, Mike?
What's up?
So, um, I've been struggling with greed, right? And I came to a point where, I'm self-aware now that I have to follow my plan, right? My trading plan, which is gonna help me, but um, I don't know where to start when it comes to my trading plan. Uh,
You said you don't know where to start?
yeah, when it comes to my trading plan. Um, as a beginner, right? Well, I'm not really a beginner, right? I'm an intermediate. I've been watching you for a bit now,
Mhm.
and other etc. But yeah, I don't. To answer, just to go back to my question, I went off topic. Yeah, I've been struggling with greed, right? There's times where I make money in the market and I over leverage, and I tend to lose it, and I always come back to break even,
Yeah.
right? Um, is there a video I could watch on your YouTube channel?
For sure.
Or
There's videos on my YouTube, and but also on my favorite sessions. That's where you get a lot more detail. My favorite sessions. So if you go to my Go Live channel in Spanish or in English, there's favorite sessions. They're all labeled. So there's probably like 3 or 4 about greed, but I'll give you my perspective. Because I think this is what will make a bigger breakthrough for you, which is right now. You have to ask yourself, why are you greedy in the first place? Like, what is it that you're trying to get done now? Like, why does it need to be done now? Because I'm assuming you have some goals. Either you're looking to make money a certain amount every day or the week, or you're looking to get your trading account to a certain place. So to give you perspective on that, have you ever felt more prepared to set yourself up for success in your life?
there's been a couple of times, yes,
Okay. But do you feel like you have the resources now compared to before?
yes.
Question for you. How old are you?
I'm 20.
20 years old. All right. So here's something I would tell myself that helped me, because I started trading at like 20 years old as well, 19 or 20. And I tell myself, like, all right, well, I've been broke my whole life. So what's the rush now? Like, I've been broke my whole life. So why rush it now? Now that I have the resources, now that I have the mentorship, now that I have the community, now that I'm aware of this type of opportunity, like, why now of all times? Like, my whole life I looked at money opportunity a certain way, but now I finally have a for sure way. As long as I do things myself, I have a for sure way of unlocking my own definition of success and freedom. So why am I looking to cut the corners? So that kind of perspective helped me just, all right, I gotta go through it. You can't skip levels. Like, over leveraging, all it does is give you kind of a false sense of, it's like a false sense of success. It's like a fake out in the market. You think it's going right. Trust me, it's about to get worse. So if you're feeling greedy in the market, and even if it worked out that time, you over leveraged and it worked out, just know your time is coming. And whether it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, but it's going to keep happening over and over and over and over again. That lesson will forever follow you. Even if you take a little bit of money and turn it to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, the greed eventually will take everything away again. I've seen it, bro. Personal experience. So if greed is a eventual losing game, wouldn't you rather just play a winning game, even though if it might feel like it takes longer? What do you think?
To answer your question, yes, that was a great perspective. Thank you for really sharing that. I'm going to take some things into consideration and think about what you said tonight and moving forward for sure.
Yeah. Feel free to
Thank
reach
you.
out, man. If you for whatever, if you're struggling with that, let me know. All I'll say this, bro, is like, you just need to know why. Why do I feel like, where does this greed come from? For me, greed came from, I wanted to be someone before I was actually ready to be somebody, that person. And then I also was looking to prove this to on some sort of accelerated timeline. But the truth is, bro, you only get who you are most of the time. So if sometimes you're cheating the game, you're trying to cut corners, it's gonna cut you right back. Believe me, bro. Believe me. But appreciate you, Ezekiel. Much love, bro.
Thank you. So,
All right, guys. So good question. I'm actually taking another one real quick before I look at another chart. And who else had one here? Y'all can just unmute as well. All right, someone said burnout. All right, burnout. So burnout's an interesting concept. I can't say I've ever experienced it. And I guess that's where my answer comes from. I feel like if you're burning out, it's because you're focusing on the wrong things. So if you feel burnout, in my experience, I feel like if I were to feel burnout, it's probably because I was only focusing on what I thought I was supposed to get. And probably where my expectations started from in the first place. So you probably figure out why you even started. So those are things I keep in mind. Like, I don't know, like I don't get tired of going to the gym because I just feel like I haven't gotten to where I feel like I need to be. I don't feel tired of waking up and looking at, just my markets for the day for a couple hours, because I know that's the cost of my freedom. Kind of funny, right? The cost of freedom. But the cost of freedom is the disciplines you decide for yourself. And then also there's always going to be something. You're exerting your energy perpetually. So what's it going to be? Either you put in the energy now towards something that long-term is net positive, or you do nothing. It'll just take you longer. But if you're tired, I don't know, if you're tired of whatever, whether it's, studying, whether it's showing up every day, then I feel like it's not what you're doing. It's probably everything around it. Could be your environment. Could be your nutrition. Could be your sleeping habits. But burnout, I feel like it just depends on, I would need more depth on this question. But to give you that kind of perspective with burnout, it also depends on, I would say environment is probably one of the bigger things. Like, if you're around people that are reminding you of why you did it in the first place, then you might not be burning out, but also you could just not be using your time efficiently. So to become, for example, to be a better trader, it doesn't mean you have to look at the markets all day. You don't become a better trader by looking at the markets all day. You can become a better analyst, maybe you can get more reps in, but to be a better trader, it's rounded. It's a rounded process. Like, you have to learn about yourself. He has so much free time that all he does is study. Okay. So you can change what studying means to you. So you can study your pre-trading routine. How do you keep yourself at high energy before coming into this? What are you doing to create a peace of mind for yourself? So, okay, cool. That's one thing. Entry strategies. You can backtest your entries. You can look at your trades, the data that you have, all the trades that you've taken this month, last month, all year. You can do that. Or you can study just the strategies in the first place. Maybe you're just learning these strategies. So you're watching other people do it. You're watching and learning how those things work. You can learn exit strategies. You can learn how to manage your trade. And outside of all that, which is probably 10, 20% max of what it is to be a trader, then guess what? How do I become better disciplined? How do I become more patient? How do I evolve my emotional intelligence? What makes me What's good or bad? If I were to go on a losing streak, how do I respond to it? So becoming a better trader is it's a pretty like super in-depth, it's like a massive spider web of things. And it doesn't have to be the market. So if you feel like you're just tired, it's probably because you're just bored and you're doing the same things. So there's a lot that comes with it. You can definitely entertain yourself, but you just have to look at all the angles, right? The dimensions that it is of being a trader. And a lot of them are fun. Like, you will become a better trader if you are becoming more physically fit, because you'll have more energy. You'll be able to think with more clarity. So a couple of things that you guys can do. Someone just sent me a chart. I'll go over your chart. I got you. So AUD USD on the 3-minute. I'll show you guys what I just got sent to me. So I wouldn't take this. If this follows your plan, then shout out to you. But for me, this looks like liquidity. These are equal highs, like equal highs, 100%. Look at this right here. Look at even at the pip count. This is probably like 2 micro pips above whatever the high was. So this is something I just don't feel like I would want to trade. But if this is a setup that you've seen time and time again and it works for you, trust your trade. It's not my trade, but this is not something I would take. There are vulnerabilities in this trade because of those equal highs. Yeah. But I appreciate you for sharing. I know a lot of people, they don't want to do that. Thank you for the feedback. Misses the higher entry. Okay. Bro, just plugged in. What are my thoughts on gold? All right. Let me show you. So let's look at gold. I know, where are my gold traders in here? Where are the gold traders in the house? Let me see. Drop some G's for all the G's in here. We got Miguel, Kevin, Angie. Top G's. Word. All right, cool. Can you purchase signals from me? Message me directly. I got you. Shoot me a message privately on IG. So, okay. So we got silver and we got gold. Now, personally, I've been trading a lot more silver than I've been trading gold, but it's really just because of how price action has been this last month. I don't necessarily favor anything. Same thing with indices. I'm not necessarily looking to only trade NAS or US 30. I'm just trading what's going to feed me the proper setup. So what's going on with gold? Now, gold's at an interesting place because gold got to a sweet spot on our daily level right over here. And this is the last thing I'm going to do, because we actually have another session right after this, where a few other educators are going to be dropping some mad value. So I actually will direct you guys over to there. So if you want to drop that link in here, Brian, I saw your name. If you want to drop the next Zoom call that you guys are running, then you can drop it in the chat over here so people can go over there and let's keep the fun going. But for gold, to keep it simple, over here on the daily, we had a massive push up before an imbalance was left. And then there's buy positions over here, mad amount of buy positions. And I'm going to show you with a little bit more detail here in a second. But here we saw a sweep to the upside that eliminated tons of retail sellers, filled the imbalance here from the day before, and the market just traded away from you. So for the last 3 months, just been waiting for price to get back to these areas. And we finally did get that. We finally got back over here into this level. So here's the thing. I actually didn't sell this, even though it got back to this massive level. I didn't sell it quite yet. And I actually ended up taking a silver sell. Now, why? I took silver sells because silver has been way more bearish in the first place. This whole time, silver has been inside of this, structure, this 4-hour structure. So even on the 4 hour, silver is still bearish. Meanwhile, when we look at gold, gold has been just bodying every single high imbalance in sight. So silver just barely got to price action from September 29th. Meanwhile, gold hit levels from July 31st. So gold just has had so much more bullish momentum for this to shift over back into bears, back into sellers. It's a lot easier for sellers to get into the market on silver since it's been trading bearish. So that's why I waited. Even though the daily was nice on gold, I wanted to see some extra confirmations. Now that we're seeing this happen, what I think we're going to get is I actually think gold is going to give us one big push up, one more big push to the upside. And I think we get rid of all of this. So there's kind of this flag that's building up. I'm sure you guys can kind of get a good perspective on this. So this is my take. It looks like we're kind of seeing a buildup here. And so I think we clear the highs. And from here, we get one final push. And then we get that shift. And so this is kind of what I'm seeing with gold. I'm already positioned in with silver. And silver is already shifting momentum as well. And you guys can already start to see how structure has changed. We were getting higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. And now the market is finally giving us a lower low. So I'll wait for a pullback here. I'll actually show you guys what I'm looking to take for sells on silver. This trade is a lot better for me because silver already got ahead of us. Silver already showed a lower low while gold hasn't. So I am waiting for silver sells. I already have an entry, and then this would be the re-entry would be over here. When could this happen? Look at fundamentals. Tomorrow we have Powell. We have a 7:30 with unemployment claims, 7:30 Central, and then 11 a.m. I think Powell speaks Central time. So could happen tomorrow around those times. Get a nice push up, and then we see the market work its way down. So this is what I like with silver. Minimum here, based on how the market made its move today, honestly, we could go even further. But for now, this is my 23 RR setup. Yeah, we just took this over 100-to-1 to the upside. So silver's been nice to swing because it's been trending super nicely. You don't always get price action like this. You don't always get price that's super volatile in these zones. So here it is, guys. Here's my silver outlook. And then if someone wants to drop the other Zoom call that's about to happen with the other educators, feel free to do that. But much love to all of you. Appreciate you that we're on. Here's that silver setup. I'll drop that silver setup across the board on whatever channels that you follow me on. I'll send them everywhere. And then, yeah, much love. This is recorded, so you guys can plug in and see this on my YouTube as well. So plug in there, guys, and I'll see you guys. We'll be trading live tomorrow morning.